Maria, are
I'm going
you?
to see.
There we go. And right now we are broadcasting, so watch your language, everybody.
Yeah.
Meg, it should have shown up on your Facebook.
No, but for instance, discussion is highlighted and invite plus. So that's where I think I go wrong.
See?
You should, if you refresh your page, sometimes I have to refresh my page
Oh, okay, hang
and then
on.
the video will show up at the top.
No,
I put a
No.
different link in the chat. Let's try that one then.
okay. Oh, where's chat?
Okay.
Me.
We are almost at starting. We're doing just fine.
Ooh, that's
I
different.
thought you had started.
Well, we did, but it
Ah,
doesn't.
hallelujah, there's two of you.
Okay.
Run.
Okay, I'm going to start us off. Good morning. It is 8 o'clock where I am. I am in Los Angeles. I did a bar mitzvah yesterday for a lovely family. It was the son. I'm going to start us off. Oh, there we go. Thank you for fixing that echo. It was the son of a couple whose wedding I did 16 years ago. So it was wonderful to get to revisit with them and then to see what a lovely job they did raising a child. So I'm here in Los Angeles, which means that I only have the one screen I'm working with. So we're a little technologically behind. Not behind. We're a little.
Off
Well,
to
you
the
know
side.
we are. I'm having a little moment of realizing that all the words that I want are not at my fingertips or at the tip of my tongue this morning. So we'll deal with. Good morning. Good morning. The chat. Thank you, Meg, for monitoring. If there's something that shows up there, if you see, and I should be paying attention to, please let me know. The chat in the Zoom room. If there's something, I can't watch that while running, so we're all good. I wanted to tell you all a story. 2 nights ago, I made a mistake and I downloaded to my phone a game. And I know better because I can't have games on my phone, because if I have games on my phone, I will play games on my phone. So about, I don't know, an hour plus after I decided I wasn't going to play anymore, because the game kept doing this thing where it made it just slightly harder and I had to figure out how to get past that level, and then it made it slightly harder, and then I couldn't get past that level, but I wanted to get past that level, so I had to keep trying until I could get past that level, and then it made it slightly harder, which come on, I got to be able to crack that code. And I thought about this as a metaphor for life, that things keep getting a little bit harder. Or at least that's how they seem, and it gets a little bit more challenging. And if it weren't challenging at all, we'd be bored. But it's just a little bit more challenging, a little bit more challenging. And I thought of this analogy that I wanted to share with you, which is, what if the people you were meeting with, what if the people who you saw today, what if all of those people had just gotten to the next level that was just a little bit too hard for them? And if we could see everyone as just on the edge of a level that they haven't quite figured out how to beat yet, that, boy, we would all have a lot more compassion for each other. That was my opening thought. Let me take a look at your faces, see if I'll take a nod or a something. Yeah, okay. It's an all right analogy. Let me show everybody who's watching on Facebook. There's everybody. Hi, everybody. And it looked like, Jeff, you had a question or a comment?
the reason things seem a little harder is because you got stronger.
Yeah.
And you're able to figure out why it's harder and to overcome it.
Absolutely. And this is called the Dodson-Yerkes graph, and it goes like this. Our enjoyment of something rises as the difficulty goes up. As the difficulty goes up, it goes up a little bit, it goes up a little bit. Let me point at it this way. So this is what I call folding socks. It's not very hard to do, and it's not really enjoyable. This right up here, this is publishing a book. It is just a little bit harder than I thought I could do, but boy, is it enjoyable. And then over here is diffusing a nuclear bomb. It's too hard, and it's no fun to do whatsoever. If we remember that everyone is right there, as you said, Jeff, everyone is just right at the top, pushing as hard as they can, maybe we can have a little bit more compassion for them and a little more compassion for ourselves. Okay, that was my opener. Very good. I want to continue us this morning with, where's our friend? There's Lori. Lori is the Religion Outside the Box intern, and we decided we're going to, until we change, we're going to start and have Lori just tell us 3 bullet points of things that she learned in the last week. So, Lori, go ahead. Tell us 3 things that you learned in the last week, please.
Well, I learned a big thing, so I'm just going to do one big thing. And I've been thinking a lot about annoyances, and I'm very prone to being annoyed easily and often lash out in anger. And I said this the last time that I'm always trying to push it down, the anger, and then it
Thank you.
erupts at a time when it makes me look silly because some small thing will happen and I'll blow up. So I've been thinking a lot about annoyances, and I was thinking, well, what's the opposite of pushing it down? Because pushing it down seems to be the problem. And I think the observance. So I practiced all week just observing what annoyed me, and I was amazed at how much annoyed me. and I observed it. I didn't necessarily do anything with it. I
That's
just
beautiful.
acknowledged it to myself, and it made such a difference. It made a huge difference in the amount of times that I lost my temper, that I got angry, because I live with 3 neurodiverse people, and it's not always easy. Not always easy. So yeah, that was a big thing, and I think it's going to help me
Wonderful. Wonderful, Lori.
down
Thank
the
you.
road.
Thank you.
So
Thank you for sharing that 3 in 1. And I appreciate, I give you first extra credit for not following the rules and answering the question as it is, as you got a better answer because you were answering your answer, not according to the way that I thought it should go. So, thank you for that. There's a phrase in business that says you can't manage what you don't measure. And unless you notice you're being annoyed, it's really hard to manage it. So thank you for that.
yeah,
We
it's
are
made a
going
big difference. Made a big
good.
difference in my
Today
life
we
so
are
far.
going to continue talking about annoyances. That is our theme for today. But before we get into annoyances, and this might be it's a choice that I made, and we're going to go with it because it's the choice that I made, and it might not be the right way, but I thought I don't want to talk about annoyances and then go into gratitude. That feels like a weird thing. So I want us to do gratitude first, and then we can talk about annoyances. And at this moment, that's feeling like that might be a mistake, but that's all right. 3 quick things that you're grateful for. If you would put in the chat, but don't hit enter. Write 3 things in the chat that you are grateful for, but do not hit enter. And if you're watching on Facebook, you can also do it along with putting 3 things in the chat that you are grateful for, but don't yet press enter. And if you're listening to this on YouTube or some other vehicle, and you just write down 3 things that you're grateful for. Everyone have 3 things in the chat that they're grateful for, and we're all going to hit enter at the same time. So give me a little bit of a nod. Everybody at the not ready yet. Let's take another moment. And here come all of the things. Okay, ready? On the count of 3, we're going to hit enter, and all the different things that we're grateful for should come up onto the screens at once. Here we go. Oh my gosh, they're coming up faster than I can enter them. Oh, thank you all. Look at all these beautiful things people are thankful for. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Good. And if you just entered in 3 things that you're grateful for, and you noticed that your mood changed as you were entering them, that's how this works. It's an amazing thing that when we have gratitude, it changes the way that we think. It's just beautiful. Just beautiful. Okay, thank you all for the moments of gratitude. I'm going to do something a little bit different today. And if it's your first time here, you're going to have to just trust that it's a little bit different. But I wrote out my thoughts. I wrote out my thoughts about annoyance. And I wanted to do a little bit of a, I don't know, sermon-y, but a little bit of a talk. So here are the thoughts I have about, and I have cards to go along with them. We're going to start with this, Y22H. This is when we're looking at change, that we always look at change in the following order. We look at change this way. We say, why change, what to change to, and how to cause that change. If you're looking for an easy mnemonic about change, it goes like this. Why change, what to change to, and how to cause that change. And that's what I want us to look at today about annoyance. Why change? Because nobody wants to be annoyed. What to change? I think it's going to be our perspective. What to change to? A little bit more open. And how to cause that change, we're going to get to. This part, I do need a little bit of audience participation. So if you would, please. Give me a list. I need maybe 10 things that are annoying. And Maria, can I ask, can you call on people so I can write them down here and you just see people and give me, I want 10 different things that annoy us. And we're going to see if we can find what do those 10 things have in common. But before we can figure out what they have in common, let's make a list of 10 things. Maria, give me my first helper.
Jordan.
Jordan, one
Heat
thing
waves.
that
Heat waves.
Heat.
No kidding. Ron.
People chewing with their mouths open.
I'm going to call on Emily next.
I'm gonna pass because I got a sound on. I've got to stop.
You
Okay.
bet. That's fair. Candace.
You called?
Something that's annoying.
Something that's annoying. Well, Ron already chewing with the mouth open was already covered.
Let's go with someone else while Candace is thinking.
Heat waves annoy me.
Okay, we got
Jeff.
these are apparently the top 2 things
Traffic
that
at 11
annoy.
o'clock at night.
Say it again, Jeff.
Rush hour traffic at 11 o'clock at night.
Ooh,
Okay,
good.
traffic,
yeah.
especially at night.
Well, when it's not supposed to be traffic.
Correct.
Chad and or Lisa.
Rude people.
And
What are you gonna say, Ted?
to-do list.
Nice.
Too
Nice.
long time.
Missy,
And we'll take two more, maybe.
People who leave their dogs alone and they bark all night long.
Oh.
Ruth, and then we'll do Lori. We got two.
Ambulance noise. Ambulance sirens.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear. I don't mean to be ironic about that.
Ambulance sirens.
Ambulance sirens.
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 And then Lori.
When people don't listen to me.
What?
Pardon?
I'm just going to
When
put
people don't
non-compliance.
listen to me. Like you have a whole conversation with a family member and then the next day they go, what? What are you talking about? I don't remember that.
So I want us to look at this list. What do these things all have in common? And I'm going to answer that because I prepared. What they all have in common is this. Our desired predicted outcome is not being met. Our desired predicted outcome of how life should be is not being met. What I think should have happened is not what's happening. Another way of looking at it is this from Shanti Deva, said that we get annoyed when we don't get what we want or we get what we don't want. When does annoyance come up? Annoyance, wait a second, I have a new little stick figure. Ta-da! That's an A for annoyance. When does annoyance pop up? Annoyance pops up when
Least expected.
not when it's
Pops up all the time.
You don't get what you want.
annoyance pops up when we're not getting what we want. It's
Or when-
ridiculously simple, but that's what it is. And it's not just the thing that happens, and this was Epictetus said that it's not so much the thing that happens, but it's our opinion of the thing. It's not the traffic at 11 p.m. that's annoying. It's our view of the traffic that's annoying. It's not the people chewing with their mouth open that's annoying. It's our opinion of the person with the mouth open that's annoying. And I'm going to prove us a point that we can, that it's not the thing, that it's our opinion of the thing. This is my favorite quote from Irving Becker. It says, if you dislike someone, the way they hold their spoon will offend you. But if you like them, they could drop a plate of food in your lap and you wouldn't mind. If that's true, if I remember seeing this really clearly when a dear friend passed away and I posted to Facebook, please do not disturb me. I need some time, because I was getting barraged. And I got 2 phone calls. And one person called to give me condolences, and I was so thankful. And the other person called to give me condolences, and I thought, why the hell are you not paying attention to what I asked? It wasn't the phone call that was annoying. It was my opinion of the person that made it annoying. It's not the thing, it's my opinion of the thing. I also know that this is true. We played last week, 2 weeks ago, we played spiritual bingo, annoyance spiritual bingo, where I asked you to make a bingo card of 24, the middle box being a free box. Oh, and I got some little side note on, hold on. Let me go back to spiritual bingo, that if you make a bingo card of all the things that your family is going to do that annoy you, and I promised you that if you got 5 in a row on your bingo card, that I'd send you $100 US. Okay, I thought
I'm
that was
waiting.
Maria,
And
what
I-
you got was worth even more.
Oh, that's true. Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, I'll shut up now.
I heard from someone about this spiritual bingo game was that they were looking forward to being when something annoying happened, they put it on their spiritual bingo card with the hopes that it would happen again so that they could get annoyed. So I'm sorry, so that they could get their prize. This is insane. But brilliant. If we have the power in our mind to turn something annoying into a game and now it's fun, then what Epictetus said is completely true. It's not the thing. It's our opinion of the thing. We can actually enjoy being annoyed. Now let me give you a little side note that somebody told me about spiritual bingo. They said that some things are so horribly annoying that they should take up 2 boxes. Kind of like on Scrabble, there's the pink little letter and that's triple word score. Folks, this is religion outside the box. Change the rules however you want. Make it work for you. This is how this works. There's the thing that happens. We observe it. We notice
Head
it.
north on Glenbrook Crescent toward Glenbrook Road, then turn right onto Glenbrook Road.
Okay, everybody, we're going to turn right on Glenbrook Road now. Watch. We observed, we heard somebody's microphone broadcasting their GPS. Did you have an opinion about it? I'm sure you did.
Or were you annoyed by it?
Were you annoyed? That's a judgment. Or were you amused? That's also a judgment.
Amused.
Amused.
The question is, how much space can we put between the two of them? Here's the quote from Viktor Frankl. Between stimulus, the observation, between stimulus and response, the judgment, between the observation and the judgment, there is a space. And in that space is our power to choose our response. The observation's going to happen. We can, if we figure out how to, make a little bit more space before the judgment. Hold on a second. Here it is. I made my little new annoyance puppet. Where does the annoyance puppet fit? Does it fit here? Spot A. Does it fit here? Spot B. Does it fit here? Spot C. And I think the answer is none of the above, but let's take a look. Does the annoyance happen here before the observation? Does the annoyance happen here after the observation? Or does the annoyance happen here after the judgment? Or is it C, none of the above? How many votes for here? Because, we can figure this out democratically. No, that doesn't make any sense at all. Where would we put annoyance? I think annoyance goes here.
Right on judgment.
Right? I think annoyance and judgment are one and the same.
Correct. That is your judgment, to be annoyed.
It is your judgment to be annoyed. The observation comes first, then comes the annoyance or judgment. I didn't write this quote down to hold on to a card, so in post-production we'll put the quote on this card. Pain is inevitable and suffering is optional. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. Here's a question. Do you have the ability to choose what you think more than 0% of the time? Do you have the ability to change what you think more than 0% of the time? I'll take
Yes.
head nods. I'll take head shakes. I'll take any way you want to answer the question, but give me some feedback, people.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
You have the ability to control what you think more than zero. Do you have 100% control over what you think?
No,
No.
Do you have zero?
no.
No.
So we have some. And as so long as we have some, the influence over our thoughts is not equal to zero. We have some ability. Back to my puppets. Observation, annoyance. There's some space between them. Here's a little puppet of acceptance, forgiveness, and love. If I put it here before the observation, what happens? If I put it here between the two, what happens? And if I put it here at the end, what happens? Let's take a look. If I put acceptance, love, and forgiveness here before observation, if I have this state of mind, what happens when I observe something?
You're less likely.
Less likely, right? What happens if I can put some acceptance, forgiveness, and love here between the two? What's going to change?
You,
The annoyance, yeah.
Right, the annoyance. Hold on. Watch. The annoyance is going to go down.
Yeah. Will feel different.
Right? We're not going to be as annoyed as the acceptance and love goes up. The annoyance goes down. And if we couldn't get the acceptance, forgiveness, and love to happen in the middle there, oh, hold on. And we add the acceptance, forgiveness, and love at the end of the equation, then what happens?
Diffuses.
It diffuses. So going back to why change, what to change to, how to cause the change, I think we have an answer. How to cause the change? What? Everyone who's enjoyed the puppet show so far, how do you cause the change? What's the thing we can change and what do we do?
Acceptance, love,
And love and forgiveness.
More love, forgiveness, and acceptance towards ourselves and others. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
And withholding judgment.
Whether, trying to not speak out the judgments into the world, that's a good idea. You're still going to judge, but the question is, what do you do with the judgments? And the kinder we can be about them. And going back to what Lori said, shoving the things down, sublimating our annoyance, only puts it down for a limited amount of time. It will come back up. I think about the thing Diana taught us maybe it was a month or so ago, about the 90 seconds of just feeling it. If you just feel annoyed, as opposed to shoving the annoyance down, if you just feel annoyed for 90 seconds, up to 90 seconds of pure annoyance, chances are you're going to go through that annoyance. Going forward, do we have absolute control? No, but that does not mean we have none. We have the ability to tinker with our perception. We can change our judgment. Practice going forward. Are you going to be able to do this perfectly today?
Probably.
No. But just like anything else that we want to learn, you can't do it and you can do it perfectly. It takes some practice in between. And I want to point out something about learning that I haven't said for a long time. Shame does not motivate. Love does. Shaming yourself for getting annoyed is not going to work. Being patient and kind to yourself when you're annoyed, that gives us a better chance. I'm going to get to the people whose hands up are in a moment. Let me just finish up through my notes. I'm going to ask for our people with our hands up. Jack, I got you. Just give me a moment. I want us to think about, and where we're going to go in the next after I take the comments that are on the board. I want us to start to think about the mermaid and robbers of being annoyed. And if you don't know what I'm talking about with mermaids and robbers, I'm going to lead us through that, and we're going to do it all together. But if you do understand already what I mean when I say the mermaid and robbers of annoyances, go ahead, do a little trip on your own and start sketching out some ideas of the mermaids and robbers of annoyance as we get our comments from Ellis, Ann, Carol, and Jack. Go ahead, Ellis.
This is not going to make sense, I think, to some. Pain is physical, suffering is mental.
Correct.
And the pain can be altered by the change in suffering, by the mental.
Correct. Absolutely. Absolutely. The pain is inevitable and it's physical. The suffering is part mental. It doesn't mean that we should be able to just think our way fine, but we can be kinder to ourselves. Thank you, Ellis, for adding that in. Go ahead, Ann, and then Carol, and then Jack.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that I have found helps me a lot on your little sign of acceptance, love, forgiveness, what helps me most is wonder. Many years ago, in studying facilitation of conflict, well, we had a statement, when it's hard, turn to wonder. And so
I love that. I added it on the side, which perfectly fits in with what you just said. Turn towards wonder.
Yeah.
Look at that. Beautiful synchronicity. Thank you. Yes, turning towards wonder and curiosity. Yeah. Curiosity is a great stance to have. I wonder why I'm getting so upset is a much better place to be than Go ahead, Carol, and then Jack.
I think there are things we should be annoyed about. And I think...
I'm not saying we shouldn't have judgment. We absolutely need to. Correct. Keep going.
If any of you have been following the news in the last week, I don't quite see that we can accept. I don't quite see we can be loving. I think we have to think about we are really in danger. And we have to think about that.
I agree with you, Carol. What I'm saying is we don't have to give in to vitriol. We can be angry, but to be angry like an adult is, I think of those who I disagree with politically sometimes as children. And the same way I had to say to my children calmly, no, that is not how we do things, firmly. But to scream back at a child doesn't help. Go ahead, Jack.
Well, for me, this whole discussion from top to bottom is all about consciousness.
Yes. To be aware of what we're doing. Yes.
Yeah. And I just wrote this down. Trust in patience, or your destiny will begin to assert itself and will tell you that you were right all along.
Oh, that would be dangerous. Say that one more time, Jack.
Trust in patience, for your destiny will begin to assert itself and will tell you that you were right all along.
Well, that would be dangerous. Thank you, Jack. Thank you. Okay. I'm going to break us into small groups for 8 minutes. Maria, are we able to do such a crazy thing?
We are, if you give me a few seconds.
If you give them 7 + 1, I'd like you to go into small groups with people and talk about what is your strategy for cultivating less annoyance. How are you going to go about doing that in the next week? So breakout rooms should be opening now. And if you don't want to go to a breakout room, you don't have to. You can stay here with me. Breakout rooms do have the privacy of not being broadcast onto the internet. if you don't mind being broadcast, stay here with me. And there we go. I'm not joining a breakout room. There go the people. Hi, Ruth. Hi, Kim. Hi, Marilyn. Hi, Candace. Ruth, did you want to go to a breakout room or are you happy here?
No, I like staying here.
Fantastic. Glad to have you here. And Kim, Marilyn, Candace, please voice if you want to be somewhere other than where you are right this moment.
There's also Jean and, whoops, Jean is gone.
I'll
And
go. Sorry, Maria.
did,
But
You
oh,
want to go to
okay.
the breakout room, Maria?
no,
Marilyn?
I'll go. Like you, I do like playing games on my phone, but that's what I was doing. But while I was listening, but I'll go.
Go ahead. Okay. Maria, you can help that to happen.
Oh, you want to go to a breakout room?
There she goes. She did it.
Oh, there she goes. Okay.
Okay, those of us who are left. Hi. Annoyances. And then we also have the people who are watching on YouTube and who are listening in on Facebook. If there we go, Stacy, my friend Stacy just posted. Oh, I got to make that larger. Oh, that just made the picture larger. Hold on a second.
Oops. Let's see.
There we go. Hi, it says, for me, to avoid annoyance, I redirect my focus. I redirect my focus, distract myself with something that raises my vibration, like saying hi to my cat. Oh, they're going to feed the birds on my back porch. Yes, doing something other than being annoyed will definitely not feeding. Don't feed the monkey, I think is a nice way of saying that. Sari, welcome in. Glad. Is there something in particular that you want to add in about annoyances? I have one, but go ahead, Sari.
Okay. No, you go first.
So Janie and I had au pairs when the kids were really little. And one of the unpredicted side effects of having another human being live in our house was it forced us to be kinder and calmer and not as right? Because we couldn't just go, the fuck are you talking about? Like, you couldn't do that because we have a 22-year-old who's living with us, and it forced us to not get as annoyed at each other in a deteriorous. Words are not working for me today. In a bad way. So that was something that helped. Is the more witnesses, the less annoyed, the less I'm allowed to be annoyed in a bad way. So that's a little tip I have is try to be impressive. Keep me from being annoyed badly.
Well, part of that is you don't want to show that you're annoyed.
Oh, it was allowed to be annoyed, but the same way that with anger, we have to do it at the right person, the right place, the right amount, and the right reason. The same. This is the same thing. Is that I can be annoyed, I could be slightly angry, but to do it in a esteemable way, because I'm trying to be impressive. I'm trying to not.
You're just trying to be the grown-up.
I'm trying to look good. Yeah, I'm trying to be a grown-up. Yeah, absolutely.
It's hard to do, be a grown-up.
It is hard to do, isn't it? But there are things we can do to slowly, bit at a time, do it better. Right? Practice. Maria, anything you'd like to add in about annoyances?
Well, there are times when I'm annoyed and I know that I should be practicing not being annoyed somehow. I get annoyed that I have to practice not being as annoyed at times.
It's a bit
So,
circular, isn't it?
yes, yes. And then it's sort of
Easier or
like,
harder to be to deal with annoyances living with mom?
oh, easier.
Easier to not be annoyed or easier to be annoyed? I got lost on my question.
Oh, easier to not be annoyed.
Why? I would
Because
imagine that living with my mom would make me more annoyed, not less annoyed.
Well, it's not that I don't have annoyances, but well, okay, it's easier for me to get that acceptance, forgiveness, and love in there.
With our newfound added in curiosity and wonder.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
I think that's something I can do is that that adding in that curiosity that Anne added in of I really wonder what's going on here. That moment of I wonder what's going on really moves me between those two before I run out with too much judgment. It's that really can help me have a space. Really thankful to Anne for that idea.
Me too. It does for me as well, especially if I try to come up with alternate, like sort of explanations rather than my quick sort of reaction or judgment. Right?
Right,
Well,
right. It gives you a little extra pause, a little bit more space. That's what we're just trying to do is if we add in this much more space, boy, can we change the whole world. I just realized something. If you do it this way, it spells out Joe.
Sari disagrees.
Go ahead, Sari. Sari?
You can't change the world. You can just change your world, right?
Oh,
I think that they're related. No?
No.
No?
No. I mean, yes, yours is a little bit.
Yeah.
But you can't change my world for me.
Yeah, I can.
Oh, okay.
Like if I slap one of your children, it's going to affect your world, no? Or if I'm more loving towards you, it's going to affect your world, no?
Only if she decides to accept your action.
Yeah.
I have closed the room, so they'll be coming back
In 21 seconds.
Yep.
I got a little note. Thank you, Maria, for doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I really hope people are dissatisfied with the amount of time that they got.
Me too.
They're going to be annoyed.
Say it again, Maria. I heard you, Sarah.
Candace wrote in, I don't know who wrote it, but there's a quote that goes, be careful who you hate. It could be someone you love.
Hi, Ellie.
Oh, I like that very much.
Yeah.
Well, welcome back from breakout rooms, everybody. Anybody want to feel judgmental that it was too long, too short, or something else was wrong with it?
5 minutes just went.
Ran out of time.
Maria, I think I'd like to make a breakout, a room for after the service called the complaint department.
Excellent. All right.
And I promise you, I will not be showing up to it. So give me, take a moment. What nugget of sagacity, what moment of wisdom, was there something that was shared in your small group that was such brilliance? You went, oh my goodness. In ours, we really hit to this idea that Anne added in, is turning towards wonder and curiosity, that from the judgment, observation and judgment, taking the time to turn towards curiosity moves these two apart. just the ability to take a moment to be curious. I wonder why. I wonder if. That wonder really does instantly separate the two. Give me something else that you learned in your group that you want to share with the group as a whole.
Pain is a healing sensation. When there's something wrong with my body, there's pain, I know something needs attention, and that's the healing part of it. It doesn't do me any good to mull over the pain that I'm experiencing if I don't do anything else.
Right. To enter into judgment with it doesn't help.
Right.
I love that. Somebody else, what else did you learn about annoyance? Go ahead, Eileen.
Well, it's interesting that you have an A, and Greg just said attention, so it's another A, and then I said something, and it was determined that annoyance isn't really the right word, so I guess afraid, fear. So
that instead of annoyance, that this can be afraid, fear. Sure. Right. Thank you, Eileen.
In our group, it was the word transitory.
I don't know what that means.
It means that it doesn't stay forever.
Okay, which one are we talking? Which one is transitory?
Annoyance. Annoyance is transitory.
That annoyances don't last.
Right.
Although I do see people seem to water the garden of annoyance and seem to reap some great harvests out of it.
Yeah.
But you're right. Individual annoyances fade. They pass.
Yeah.
Okay. So
John?
Go ahead, John. Thank you. Thank you, Maria.
When you were doing it earlier, a word came to my mind that impacts the A.
What's that?
And that is prejudice.
Yes. Our pre-thinking about something changes the annoyance.
But it sets in before.
Correct.
Or the observation. You're already prejudiced. Whatever the observation is based on the prejudice. It will either be entirely, the observation will be if something was great or something was absolutely horrid based on my prejudgment of the situation or people involved.
Yes,
any
absolutely.
Of that kind of stuff.
That's the spiritual barometer part, is that if I've already decided that the person's annoying, whatever they do is going to be annoying. I have predetermined that I'm going to be annoyed by them. Absolutely. I love it. Thank you, John. Okay, I want to run us into one more idea, and then we're going to do prayer time. Folks, little aside here. I love doing this with all of you. Some weeks aren't as awesome because they can't always be awesome. But boy, do I feel like we're making some good grounds here today. All right. Positives, negatives, change, not change. I'm going to do this at a slightly faster. If this is your first time here, this might feel a little bit fast, and I apologize for that. But here's how it goes. Top here, if we change, everything's going to be good. We refer to that as gold. If we don't change, here's our negative column. This is a monster. And if we're talking about annoyances get it's not good to have annoyances, and it's wonderful to have patience and a lack of judgment. That part's easy. The other two parts are a little more nuanced, and this is where I'd like us to focus. We refer to this bottom one here as a mermaid because mermaids are allergic to gold. I always have to say that, and I'm always so surprised that not everyone knows that very simple fact, but you need to know that very simple fact for this to make sense. A mermaid is, if you don't change, there's a positive to it. There's something good. For example, gossip. There's a benefit of gossiping, which is it feels good. and it makes you feel connected to someone. That if you stop gossiping, if you changed and stopped gossiping, you'd be up on this one where you're changed, and you would lose this benefit that you previously had. If you change and you get gold, you lose your mermaid. But if you change and you get gold, you have a new problem, which is before you had gold, nobody wanted to rob you. But you now have this new problem that you never had before. So I want you to think, and those of you who had a moment to pre-think this, please help me out. If we stop being annoyed as often as we are, we're going to lose some hidden benefit of being annoyed, and we're going to have a new problem that we've never had before. If we stop being as annoyed as we were in the past, we're going to lose some benefit of being annoyed, and we're going to have some new problem that we hadn't had previously. I'd love to hear from some voices we haven't heard previously. If you had a thought on this, help me fill this in. What is the thing you're going to lose?
You're going to lose the feeling of superiority, and I know better than to do that.
If we lose our annoyances, we're going to lose our sense of superiority. Thank you. That's absolutely true. I'm not saying we shouldn't not be in. This is tasty. We enjoy being superior to other people. We enjoy somewhat being annoyed by them because we know we would never do that terrible thing that they're doing. We're better than them, so we would lose our superiority. Thank you, Meg. Absolutely. If we stopped getting annoyed, we'll now have a problem we never had before. What
Chaos.
might that be? Chaos?
Yes.
How am I going to? I'm not quite seeing that one, Greg.
Well, if we don't get annoyed, like for example, with our present day situation of our country, will we ever accomplish anything?
If we don't get it, so we're going to have a new problem, which might be, I'm going to change it slightly and say apathy.
Yes, that's better.
And that hits what Carol was talking about. That could be a problem of not getting annoyed, is it could be that it turns us towards apathy. And
Right.
as you said, and Carol was reminding us, apathy can lead to this horrible dystopian future. Speaking of which, I'm going back to phone banking because tomorrow is the last of my is the marching band that has been keeping me out of phone banking. If you want to join me in phone banking to try to help this world, send me an email or a text or get in touch with Jordan. We'd love to have you phone banking to help keep apathy down and chaos down. Anything else go up in this corner? What else might
What's
be
the name of the marching band?
Oh, I'm in the Rose City Pride Marching Band. And the reason I'm in the Rose City Pride Marching Band is because it's a no-cut band. You don't have to audition, and you can be the worst person in the band. It is amazing. I am learning. So I am very capable and competent in many things in my life. It is humiliating to go to this band, but I force myself to go to remember what does it feel like to not know how to do something well. It's just staggering. Okay, let me go back to this. Anything else we want to add in for our robber or our mermaid? What is another thing we might lose, or what's a problem we might get if we stop getting annoyed?
I think we lose agency.
Are you in robber or mermaid, Jordan?
I'm not sure. I always get confused by this. Let's see. So okay.
This
So
is
if
a
we
problem. Go ahead. This is a
when
problem.
we're annoyed, we have agency. When we're annoyed, when we stay annoyed and we don't change, we have a sense that we can fix things.
Right. That's kind
I
of
know I'm
the
workshopping this,
inverse.
Brian. Yeah,
That's fine.
yeah.
That's fine. I expect everyone to be perfect at all times. It's kind of the inverse of apathy,
It is.
right?
It
If
is.
we have we might lose our agency if we give up being. If one of the things that we enjoy about being annoyed is superiority, another one is agency. We feel like we can change things.
Right.
I
It's
think
like
that's it.
does acceptance mean that we can't change anything? And that's apathy, depression, agency, acceptance.
Yeah.
Those concepts are all kind of mixed up for me.
I would say they overlap. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, folks. Anything else we want to add in on this one? Is that a hand, Ellen? No.
Yeah.
Jack.
How
Jack.
about we give the gold away? Robert
I don't know.
disappears.
I don't understand.
Just give the gold away.
Give the gold away? You
Yeah.
fail as an American. Come on, you can't do that.
Maybe that's the whole problem.
It might be. We do have a slight greed issue. Okay, I'm going to put this away.
All right.
I'm scanning the room. Thank you all. Oh my goodness. So take a moment, if you would. What's the next one positive step you can do in your quest to not get so annoyed? What's the one thing, the one next step for you? We talked about a lot of things. What is the one next step for you to do? I'd love if you made a note of that thing. And let's turn our attention, Maria. Thank you for gathering the list of people. We'll turn our attention to the people who need a little bit extra light and love this week.
These are the people to whom we are sending light and love. Joe, Ken, Lauren and Carolyn, Sheridan H., Rita S., Greg, Shirley W., Tane and Kelly, Captain Florida and Diane, and Lorena. If there is another person in our community to whom we can offer light and love, please put their name in the chat and I will add them to the list in the clubhouse and on Facebook. And for the people who aren't named, but who are in our thoughts, we send them light and love as well.
Okay. I'm going to put the timer on. Let's sit for 1 minute, please. I thank all of you. My one next step towards getting less annoyed is turning towards curiosity. Isn't that interesting that I'm getting annoyed? I'm going to try that for the next week. Anyone have a one sentence answer to what your one next step is that you'd like to say aloud as a commitment?
Love yourself more.
Amen.
I think there's a difference between what is a small annoyance and what is a big annoyance. And some things we can change. I noticed a lot of those things on our list were out of our control. And I think that's what causes some of the annoyance. And I think for me, my next step is going to be to try and pull apart those tiny annoyances that aren't going to rectify, and how I perceive them, and then differentiate between big annoyances like political things or social justice things that we can actually work to get rid of.
I love it. There's another quote from Shantideva who said, practice with the small annoyances. Practice with a traffic jam at 11 p.m.
Yeah.
Don't drive after dark.
Wonderful. I'm going to stop our recording. Let's all wave goodbye to the people who've been watching. Bye, everyone. Thank you for joining.
Bye.